Welcome back to West Virginia Uncommon Place.
What's going on?
And it's Davonte again.
What's going on, you guys out there listening? What's up?
Okay. Now, and this is what we are here to talk about. This is the video for tomorrow. This podcast is literally going out as fresh as we finished it. I edited it a little bit, but you know what I called you about. You know what this is about. Gladys versus Patti La Belle.
Well. And the time has come.
Okay, I
Wow.
just a little bit, and I went through YouTube. I'm looking at my ridiculous monitor, going through Gladys Knight's song. So we'll start this from the get go because you're an accomplished singer, so you know these singers. You know more than I know about the actual process of being a singer and what sound should sound like. I only hear it through headphones, so I don't know the difference. All right, first off, this is what I'm going to say. Patti La Belle, amazing. More than likely, she may win this competition. Gladys, a soulful singer. She about reminds me of one of the four ladies in the church choir.
Right.
All right, so you go ahead and give me your spill on everything. What do you think it takes for? Let's do it this way. What do you think it would take for Gladys Knight to win? What song do you think? You think it's her solo stuff or the stuff that she did with the Pips that would take her over the top?
I mean, but see, that's the thing. Even when she went solo, she even had them kind of intertwined in her career as well. So it's kind of hard to say with her because, I mean, Patty got 18 studio albums. You got eight. She got 18.
But we're going hit for hit though. Like I get what you're saying because the way I feel about it though is this is the only way Gladys Knight wins in the category. Gladys Knight and the Pips versus La Belle. Not Patti La Belle, but we're talking about the actual group. Gladys Knight will win that, I believe. Do you agree with that?
Sorta, kinda.
Hello,
I'm still here.
sort of, kinda.
Yeah.
All right, because like I was listening and like I was like I went from neither one of us straight into Love Overboard, and I kind of I dropped off a little bit because I was like Gladys Knight, I don't like you in the '80s, 1987. I was 2 years old. Had I heard this, I'd have put on my little sequins Michael Jackson jacket, spin and left.
Man, I don't know. I feel like she didn't have as flourishing as a career in the 80s and the 90s as Patty did. I felt like after the 70s, that was starting to be her in and out years. And then, she did a couple of, I would say, I call it sisters singing with sisters type performances, with her, Dion, and Patty, and, doing stuff with Aretha here and there. But it's like, Patty and Aretha, I mean, God, rest in peace. Well, she
Okay,
passed on my birthday, so which is crazy. Um,
that may have been given a singing gift by her. You never know.
I hope. But with Aretha and Patty, those were like the two divas from those eras that were still like popping. You know what I'm saying? Their singles were still hitting the charts. I mean, even songs.
And I get go ahead.
I was gonna say even songs that you may have thought was off kilter, like "Hey Yo Mister." I mean, that was just some like crazy stuff. And then you got Aretha. After the '80s, she come out singing, "A Rose is Still a Rose" with Lauryn Hill in there. I mean, still relevant.
And the one thing I say is, we'll go back to the year 1986. It would have been 1 or maybe 5 months. Really
Hmm.
don't matter. Phil and Michael
Oh,
McDonald. Michael, we talking Doobie Brother. He is the pinnacle of pop, soft rock, easy listening music. They made a classic on my own.
yeah.
Patti LaBelle that's one thing that I'm gonna tie into where I agree with you because earlier on, my position was on Gladys Knight, but I know Patti LaBelle's gonna win this completely because Patti LaBelle later on in the future had one of her great hits turned into a very famous Nelly song.
Yes. Kelly and Nelly
So
Dilemma.
yeah, Dilemma, and that's what I'm saying. So Dilemma right there, and even remember the remix to it. So Dilemma right there puts her in her own platform because Nelly transcends to 2,000 people because so not everybody may know Patti LaBelle, but once they heard Dilemma, Patti LaBelle was on fire.
Right. I mean, come on. Everybody needs a little bit of Nelly and, Kelly, she was part of Destiny's Child. So, I mean, hey, we needed all of that.
Right, so that right there, so I'm gonna agree with you and say that Patty's gonna win. I'm starting to look at this now and I don't see an even matchup.
No, I mean, I
Like,
feel like, if we're going to get more of an equal comparison, it would have to be Aretha and her.
right. So could Gladys Knight have won against Shaka Khan maybe?
Yeah.
About Shaka Khan and Ruthless.
Yeah. It's crazy because all three of the women you just named, Patty, Shaka Khan, and, of course, Gladys Knight, they all were in groups, which is crazy.
Right. But Shaka Khan and Gladys Knight will match up better.
I think so. Because their hit specialty is kind of on the same level.
That'd be like, I'll give you my favorite thing that I would love to see. I would love to see Karen White versus Anita Baker.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe we should do Karen White and Stephanie Mills. How about that? I ain't even gonna lie to you. When I was a kid, I thought they were the same person. They all had distinctive looks.
But listen, this is then we needed to switch this all up. What about Miss Shirley Murdoch? Shirley Murdoch with the storytelling.
Well, if we were gonna do Shirley Murdoch, I would say I would have had Shirley Murdoch go against Vesta Williams.
Okay. Who would Betty Wright go against?
Oh, I got a good one for you. This one is juicy. All right, Millie Jackson. The young people don't know about Millie Jackson. Before we had Rihanna, before we had Miss Janet, if you're nasty, we had Millie Jackson. Like, she turned it out like no other. I almost missed it, man. I almost missed it, but thank God my parents are who they are, because,
Right? Shout out to David.
Shout out to them. This is gonna be interesting. Like, I watched both of their promos, and I seen Patti LaBelle was like at the end of her little promo, she was like, "What you gonna bring to the table? I made all this." She made a whole dinner from scratch, but of course, the main centerpiece, even though there was a huge turkey, was her sweet potato pies. And then, Gladys Knight, she made a charming banana pudding, but let's be real. We go for the pie before we go for the pudding. So, in music and in the kitchen.
So let's do this. I'm going to give my bangers for the bell. On my own, If You Only Knew, You Were My Friend, Beverly Hills, Right Kind of Love, because that was a little mix right there. I'm gonna go even further and say Joy to Have Your Love.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna finish it off with Beverly Hills Cop, the first movie, New Attitude.
Okay.
So what else do you have in the foray that you can put in here that you thinking that I missed?
Hey, yo, mister. I mean, that was a bop. It was different. It was different. Okay, let me think of something that you haven't said yet. I mean, we gotta say Lady Marmalade. It's almost kind of like, yeah, you gotta say Lady Marmalade. Hold on. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I feel like some other hits is coming. It's a new day because that was closer to her getting in her late 40s. She was coming into herself. In the early 2000s. So new day. Uh, what others? I mean, she's had so many. My gosh, it's something else that I hear in my head, but I can't. Mm-mm. It's gonna come back because you said all the ones I would have named.
Right. But give me my list real quick on Gladys Knight and we'll back to you. Midnight Train in Georgia. I don't want to know. Neither one of us. When she did her version of End of the Road, because it was tough.
End of the Road by Boys to Men.
She did a medley.
I never heard that.
She did. All right, we'll go into that later. If I were your woman, Superwoman, obviously, Love Overboard, and if we're gonna go from the 2000s, she did have a hit, and Since I Felt, that's it. Like I don't the songs with the pitch and stuff we can go into. I'm just talking about her purely, and take away Midnight Train. That's a pitch song,
right?
It's just not enough there for her to even be compared.
That's hard. that is real hard. I mean, like, and singles. That's just it's a record landslide. But I mean, and she's already warmed everybody in their hearts with the sweet potato pie. Like, I mean, how can you get around that? Like, I mean,
I'll say this though, one hard thing with Gladys, for sure, this young audience, the first season of The Masked Singer, know Gladys Knight as a singing jewel from The Masked Singer. That might be the only saving grace for her. Because, everybody watched that on Fox.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I watched. I knew it was her. Nobody else knew it was her. I was like, I know Gladys Knight's voice. Oh, okay. Hold on. I almost forgot my favorite Patti.
Go ahead.
And we are back live on the air.
Yeah, straight up. And one thing I want to recap. I am misinformed about one thing. So never mind. Patti La Belle's on there. She was just on the 2019 season. So, yeah, Gladys Knight ain't got a chance.
Yes, I mean, it's quite a landslide. I mean, right kind of lover.
Okay.
When we got cut off, when we talk about love, my love, sweet love, that was on the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack. Now, y'all don't know how I know that because I stole that from my mama one day. So that's how I end up knowing some of the catalog. And there's still some more hits to go. But with Gladys, a lot of hers was like covers. I mean, Heard It Through the Grapevine. I mean, Come See About Me. And one thing that I do love about Patti La Belle and Gladys, even though they're totally different artists and singers, they will tell you that back in the day, certain ones stuck up for each other and certain ones just kind of did their own thing. And they both said that Diana Ross was a little snooty. And they did say that Diana Ross used to go in when the La Belles and stuff be on the stage and the Pips, and she would literally go in and try to copy their outfits. They would go to Woolworths, and Patty said that Diana used to steal their outfits. They used to steal their swag.
And Diana was supposed to be this. Yeah, I got you.
I mean, well, you notice every big star has had some type of behavior that we weren't as proud of. So, I mean,
yeah.
To get to the top is lonely. You got to know your competition. Not saying it was right, but I mean, she was the hottest artist on Motown. I mean, She
True.
wasn't the first solo star on Motown, but
She was the hottest at that time. Now let me ask you this: would you be surprised if Dionne Warwick just slides up in there when they all see they share a hit together?
Superwoman, yes.
You think Dionne will slide in and hit her little thing and
She
roll?
will. She gonna roll up a little joint before she go out there.
She got a little bra on the She's like, this is for Whitney.
she gonna. You said what?
She's gonna be like, this is for Whitney, and get
She gonna put a little rasp on that shit. you know, gotta put the rasp on it. You gotta put that rasp on it. It's like her. It's like if you got like a pimp walk to you. That's the rasp for her. She be like, this is for Whitney. This is for Whitney. But honestly, I mean, Dionne, even just her catalog alone, she's paved the way for many black female artists that did cross over. Because I mean, Walk On By, her and Burt Bacharach, as far as his compositions and lyricism, I mean, it took the black female artists crossing over to a new level. And I mean, with her and Diana, those were the doors that Whitney could grace herself through and take it to the next level. And, it's a blessing that all of these black females have all of these things in common. And they will often get on time and sing backup for each other, be on stage. It was nothing, but, Gladys and Patti are really the only ones from that era still living. It's kind of sad. So it's like,
still living.
I
And
mean,
still
still living and still singing. I mean, we don't have Etta James, we don't have Aretha, we don't have Whitney. I mean, and honestly, I think the perfect person to go up against Whitney would have been Mariah Carey, because that was her comparison.
yeah, that was her competitor.
Yeah, her competitor. Even though they became friends, I thought that was admirable because, back in them times, they had to stick together. They defined what we call divas now. Like, but nowadays it's not, they rap divas. They not real. They not singing divas no more. Like,
Or and stuff. Wow.
Everybody wants to be on reality shows. They want you to rap, sing. People don't make full bodies of work anymore. Like, artists put out more EPs than they do records, like albums. So, I mean, and I'm so ecstatic, speaking about artists kind of coming back. I know this is about the ladies, but Usher's coming back doing his residency in Vegas.
Ooh.
Yeah. Vocals on fire right now. I mean, his vocals are in the best condition they ever been. He's never lost it. I do feel like when music started to change, it was harder for him to come in and adapt to that new sound. I mean, I feel like once you have a family and you get married, it's only so much of what's popular and what's going on you can kind of fit into. I mean, like,
because I'll say this: Usher, when him and Zaytoven did that album, I really feeling that. You heard that?
Say that one more time.
The album with Usher and Zaytoven.
You like that one?
No, I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was for the young generation. I mean, I don't even think they rock with it.
Yeah, that's what.
I mean, quite honestly, I just felt as though it just was okay. I'm gonna say this. Now, everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Beyonce. It took me a while to really get with the edginess of the rap singing. However, they have been doing that since Destiny's Child. It's a Houston thing. And I'm just like, Diva let me know that, okay, she might can spit a 16 bar, but we didn't really take it. We was just like, whoa, that was a lot for us to comprehend at that time. This is 2008, 2009. Then, flash forward to Beyonce, self-titled. It's just straight digital urban pop. We had never experienced that before. So other artists are trying to duplicate how that's being done and still trying to be singers, but they lack the vocal ability to do that, to sing and to rap phonetically in one song. It's some people got the gift, some people don't.
Bobby Brown,
And
and Chris Brown.
Yeah, and I mean, even with Chris Brown, like I noticed he chilled out with the dance music for a while because that dance music,
Yeah, he
it's
was getting really techno on me.
he was. I mean, don't get me wrong, graffiti was the shit. I mean, graffiti was the shit, but that year 3 times.
That's when it started. That's when it started getting a little. That's you're in the techno club with what's one of them artists, Moby or somebody, Moby, working the thing or whatever, Jamiroquai, whoever techno people are.
Yeah. Don't come back with Jamiroquai. That you took it back, yo. That's when he was in that video and the whole furniture started shifting. I thought that was dope. I'm just saying.
Well, I'll say this about Chris Brown. Chris Brown killed the game when he did Heartbreak on a full. He brought back the thing. That Heartbreak on had so many artists on it. I don't even know who I was dating at the time, but I know I gave that album out like candy. I was like, here, everybody get a copy.
But I'm gonna tell you though, that album had like four. Was that the one that he first started doing like 30 to 40 tracks on?
Yeah.
And for today's market, you can't really keep kids' attention span. But I think he offered something quite refreshing because he knew everybody was doing like 10 to 12 tracks. And then now he's like actually emerging into like, okay, we going back to the old days, but we know you can consume this because y'all get tired of music like in a week. You know what I mean? Like, and that's sad. The music could be classic and it could sound good, but because of how we've been conditioned and how the platform of music, really when the iPod came out, it was the death of music as we know it, like of just that quality. And you can give the quality so much as your last hit. And they said that in the 90s, but it's worse now. Like,
right, because you see doing good one time, it's like, wow.
Right. And it's just like, everybody's trying to do the Beyonce approach to releases. They just want to drop stuff. Everybody can't do that. Some people you need to promote.
Right. Some type of promotion and get it right. Like,
get it right.
For example, I can't hear Avant just come out with something, and I ain't heard from him in 8 years.
I miss Avant. Avant, he's still doing his thing. I've heard him on live. Everything's still intact. I don't think he had been doing well health-wise for a while, so he is slowly kind of coming back out. But, I mean, the voice is still there. Like, if Avant said today or tomorrow, I'm looking for some new art, come on. I'm ready. Let's go write some songs.
You feel a different sentiment about him. I don't feel that way about him because it was like every album he had 1 or 2 hits, but he made so much music. He dropped so much music that he had a catalog of greatest hits because he dropped his album that had 2 songs. One album he had 3, one album he had 4, and then whatever. Let me ask you this: how do you feel about Dave Hollister?
Oh my God, incredible! I mean, vocally, he's the closest thing that we're gonna have to Jill Levert.
Okay.
I honestly feel like he's kind of been overlooked, and it's kind of sad because vocally, and usually when artists start to kind of get overlooked, sometimes they change avenues. They either go indie, they start treading more to the gospel, and he's been treading more back to the gospel. I think that is his roots, but I would have loved for him to see him do some more R&B, and I really feel like because of his impact on R&B music, it would be great to see artists like him Maxwell, Joe, had Babyface writing, producing.
In a minute. Go ahead.
Huh?
We're gonna get to Joe Thomas in just a minute.
I mean, but it's just so many. It's like so freaking many like artists out here, and I feel like they have potential to, if they're not gonna continue to pursue music in the way they were, they still have like so much that they could pass on to the new generation, like other artists. Like, I mean, if Jacquees really wanted to be serious, he would get some vocal lessons and he would like study under Keith Sweat or, study under a Babyface or a Neo, like have them work with him on a project. I mean, you got the platform. I mean, like, see, an artist like myself, I'm indie. Like, I don't have a label, I don't have management. I'm just kind of navigating my own way. So whatever I do is on me.
Right.
Whereas with him, he has labels, he has the connections. Keith Sweat knows him because apparently there was a conversation backstage at a show where he was like, he's gonna be like the king of R&B or whatever, and I was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah. And then when I saw other people's tracks, I'm like, nah. But one thing I want to say about Dave Hollister, Chicago '85, the movie. Everybody says Get Up In. No, Chicago '85, the movie. That album right there. That album there, and he was always associated with good people. Tim and Bob on the track.
Oh my gosh, Tim and Bob. I mean, Avant. There you go, Avant. Freaking Bobby Valentino. That's your boy. Bobby. So.
So like, I mean, it's just like for some reason, like the music, like you said, R&B is kind of, and it's crazy how we went from Knight and Patti La Belle across R&B. Are there
Yeah.
any new R&B singers you like? Any of this new stuff? Because like I can't even tell an R&B singer because 10 years ago, Juice WRLD would have been an R&B. He would have been like some some ALT R&B. Like he would have been the off the wall R&B because he wouldn't have had the same sound because he had a way of singing. It wasn't what we consider this generation's. He had. I think he had a little something to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a weird way. But is there anybody like right now that you see that you think is like decent?
I'm a big fan of Ari Lennox. Like, I love Ari. Love Ari Lennox. Like, if I even had a chance to work with a artist that's out right now that I think would be possible, it'd be Ari Lennox. Shea Butter Baby, that album.
Hey?
Vocals. Oh my God, we want to talk about guys. Avery Wilson, underrated. That man got vocal range out the wazoo. Like, I have no clue where he gets it from, but his range is tight. His control is tight. It's everything. I'm trying to think. I mean, Tori Kelly is not really new. She's been new on YouTube. Well, she's been on YouTube for years, but she, I think, just wrapped up her second album. Second or third, because I know she went the gospel route for a little while. But Tori Kelly is amazing. Tori Kelly is, oh my God. She's amazing. I'm trying to think. Her is amazing. I like her. Gosh. Most of the up and coming artists that I like, they're like indie artists, like artists that, I know personally, like this artist in Atlanta called DJ. He's amazing. His name is spelled Diijai. So DJ.
Later. I'm gonna throw you for a loop real quick. I'm gonna tell you who I like. I'm not gonna say that they're an R&B singer. I'm just gonna say they're a musician. I like Daly.
Oh, Daly's good, but Daly ain't really new. Daly been around though.
But he slips in and out every 3 or 4 years. He should be coming back by now, and I'm surprised we haven't heard from him.
I mean, to me, he's like a what's who am I thinking about? A Robin Thicke kinda. Meets he's like a Robin Thicke meets like Marsha Ambrosius type, you know.
Okay, that coffee house R&B.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if you're gonna throw him in there, you might as well say Miguel. I mean,
Miguel, but Miguel has solid hits. He's just another one of them artists that just disappeared.
he got solid hits too. You know, he like to hit down and do splits on people's necks, but we're not gonna go there.
All right, so let me give you a round of R&B singers, and you tell me about Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, he's cool. I think you have to be. His vibe is like it's different. It's like I feel like you have to be in a mood. Like you got to be in that mood. When you listen to Jeremiah, it's like you in that mood. You know what I mean? You in that mood.
All right, so let me put another one out there. One, all right, I got one that's new. Summer Walker.
She's for the kids, most definitely. I mean, I appreciate her for trying to bring back R&B of our time. Like she sampled Usher's "Make You Wanna," and then she even incorporated Destiny Child "Say My Name." She's cool. I would love to see more vocals from her. She has a smooth sound, but she doesn't really showcase the range as much.
All right, let me give you an example of who she is right now. This generation's Karen White. Think Karen White, when we was coming up, had the production of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis behind her.
Hmm.
Summer Walker has a good producer behind her that she's dating. So I kind of feel that she's this generation uh, Karen White. Now, let me ask you about somebody that we don't talk about. Nobody got it in any circle. What did you ever think about Party Next Door?
Party Next Door was dope. He was, I call him like a reggae pop bedroom producer. You know, it was smooth. You know, he had like his own little sweat. You know what? But it's so funny because I haven't heard much of him lately, but I fell in love with because he's similar in style, but not the same. Burna Boy's records. Burna Boy's, oh my God, Burna Boy got some hits, man. He got this one record called On the Low.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, that Angeli on the low. You know, it's just you gotta be, you gotta. I mean, zoned out. Like that's when you in your house, you just took a shower, you listening to music, and sometimes you just sit on the side of the bed and just look out of space, and you just listen to it. It's a vibe, that Afro beat. But Party Next Door, he got some cool stuff. I think he make his best stuff when he with Rihanna. You know.
Hey, that one joint that they just did, yeah, it was pretty good.
It was like Rihanna in the background. She the background singer in that joint, and her fans was mad because they was like, "Why you can't get a verse on there?" And I'm like, just enjoy the vibe. She want to enjoy the vibe.
So, who do you think is like right now the best beat producer right now?
You said the best R&B producer. Whoo, that's really, 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 really hard. Gosh,
And
it's.
London on the track. London on the track. He's like the hottest thing that's going. That's, uh, London
I
on.
mean, he is. He is. I mean, it's funny because a lot of the songs sound so similar.
Yeah, it
You
sounds
don't really know who producing them these days. Like,
like people be jocking some of his beats because like sometimes I hear some stuff and I'm like he didn't give this to Summer Walker. He wouldn't give it to this person. But I don't know. I don't think there's a hot producer beyond him. That's why I disqualified him. Like everybody else, like you said, it all kind of sounds the same.
yeah.
You hear Hitmaker all the time. And one last question before we in this podcast: do you consider Tay Dolla Sign a singer, rapper?
I mean, he can do both. He's very smooth and melodic in what he does. I mean, it's similar to Drake. It's how far long they want to go with it. Like most times, they're never going to give you anything that's going to show, but so much range because it's like they don't want to give that much, but they give just enough. I feel like Ty Dolla $ign gives a little bit more vocally when it comes to a vocal performance compared to Drake. Drake is just, I'm gonna tell you what Drake is like a mellow glass of whiskey.
Okay.
And Ty Dolla $ign is like pineapple Ciroc with a splash of pineapple juice and chilling. You just chilling. Like it's not too, it's like the sweet spot, it's just like it gives you, well, Drake is gonna give you that warmth and he gonna make you feel sad as hell by the time you done.
He's gonna make you reconsider what you was already thinking.
You already was gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, see, you can't listen to no Drake when you break up, because when you break up, you going back to that ex if you listen to Drake.
Yeah.
If you hear this out here, Drake, you better stop influencing these people to do these things.
The hotel, looking at the ceiling, looking at a picture of her and wondering why.
Listen.
But that's how Drake, I said Jake, that's how Drake gets it done. But once again, I want to thank you for being on West Virginia Uncommonplace. Seems like you're going to become a future featured guest. I guess I'm going to have to give you hosting duties until you decide to, or co-hosting duties until you decide to do your podcast.
Y'all hear that? All right. Well, it's the people's choice.
Yeah, no doubt. So we'll figure out some things. And once again, thank you. And this will be up before 12 o'clock tonight.
All right. Well, this sounds like fun. Fun. Well, I had fun chatting with you, man. And shout out to the people of West Virginia Uncommonplace.
And that's at any state, too, because West Virginia Uncommonplace is just a name, guys. Just a name. All right.
It's a state of being, y'all.